Amyet sent out the EB26 for me to review, and as its name would imply, it is a 26-inch bike. As its weight would imply, it's a fat tire bike. Amyet asked me what color I wanted. I said surprise me, so we're going to pop it open and be surprised. Moment of truth. It appears to be good old-fashioned classic black. We'll check out our goodie box here. We have owner's manual, headlight, quick release front axle, pedals, toolkit, and our charging cable. This says it is a 2 amp charger, so whatever the specs on that battery are, I'll put that information on the screen right now and also give the charging time for that battery. Tires by Denput. Battery is marked 48 volt, 15 amp hour, so that's not bad. But with that 2 amp charger, it's going to take about 7 hours to charge this, about 7.5 hours to charge this thing from completely empty to completely full. And I also want to mention that the battery is built in a 5-pin high-long case, so finding a second battery for this bike or a replacement battery down the road should be pretty easy to do. Okay, I had to move over into the shade here to finish up. It's over 90 degrees out here today, and the sun is just kicking the crap out of me. But anyway, I've just got a few things to finish up on the bike. As you can see, this is a big boy bike, and the camera fisheye is making it look a lot smaller than it actually is, but this is a big bike for big people, so that's something to keep in mind if you're looking for a 26-inch bike with 4-inch fat tires. Some of them are a little bit smaller than others. This one leans to the big side. I got a couple things I got to finish up here. I need to get this lined up to finish putting the rack on, and it's giving me a lot of trouble getting lined up, but besides that, everything else should go pretty easy. I got to put the pedals on, put some air in the tires, charge up the battery, and then we'll be good to go. Right now, this is the thing that's giving me the most trouble, but I think I'm just going to have to take this screw out right here, move everything back, put that one in, and then finagle that one back in, because I think I've got more bend with this rail than I do with this one down here. Yeah, that was the trick. It came from the factory with these 2 bottom screws uninstalled and these 2 top screws put in. So I had to loosen the top screw to get this one to line up, and as you can see, I've got a lot more flex up here, so it'll be easier to put this top screw back in. But as far as putting the bike together, this rack has been the most challenging part. The rest of it went together pretty fast. Alright, while we're still in the shade here, I'm going to do a walk around the bike to see what we get. And as I mentioned, it is a 26 by 4-inch fat tire bike. Tires are non-branded, but they do feel pretty good, and there's a pretty good rugged, knobby tread on them. These are more of a like a heavy gravel or trail riding tire. Standard e-bike headlight. We got our bouncy shocks up front. You can lock it out, and we've got some adjustment for the preload over here. As you can see, there is no rear suspension, but in my experience with riding 26-inch fat tire e-bikes, rear suspension really isn't always necessary. These ride pretty comfortably just with a front suspension and the fat tires. Shimano tourney derailleur, 7-speed cassette, dual ring chain guard, decent looking rack back here, and normally I don't put these fenders on the bike, but this one had the fender already put on the back here. I really don't know how well this is going to work out. It looks like it's just kind of shoehorned in here behind the light here, and then bolted on up front. Like I said, I don't know how well that's going to hold up over time, and you can see it is kind of just wedged in there. The seat up here, I've seen this kind of seat before. These seats are okay for short rides, and it's really well made, really well stitched, but on a longer ride, say more than 20 miles, this can get a little bit uncomfortable on the buttocks. I've got the battery in the house charging right now, but as I mentioned, it is a 15 amp hour battery. Got 160 millimeter disc brakes. They are cable driven brakes, so out on casual trails this bike should be fine, but where you might need really fine control like in the city, this might not be the best bike for commuting. It is fairly heavy. I can't remember the exact weight. I'm going to put that on the screen right here. And as you can see in the back here, we've also got that 160 millimeter disc brake. Again, cable driven. Standard e-bike grips, we see these on most e-bikes. We've got our headlight control, horn control, and I'll throw the battery on so I can show what the headlight and the rear tail light looks like, and I'm going to assume that the tail light also functions as a brake light. Shimano 7-speed shifter and pretty well built brake handles. Here's our controller screen, and this is our controller buttons, and we do have a USB charging port underneath here if you need to charge your phone. Overall, it's a pretty plain Jane fat tire bike, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It looks like it's going to get the job done, but looks can be deceiving. Let's take it out on a ride and see what she can do. Alright, this bike might have a little hidden feature, and before I take it out on a ride, I wanted to show you this. I did take the bike out on just a quick maintenance ride after I got everything put together. It's something I always do, but I have not done it on a full-fledged test ride yet. And what I wanted to show you is that I normally go in and unlock the top speed on these bikes, and to do that we push the plus and minus button at the same time, and we go up to our P08 setting, and this is set at 55. I'm going to get back out of here, and I just want to show you real quick here, and I just want to show you that with this bike set at 55, this bike goes up to 34 miles per hour. That's with me not on it. Once I went out and rode it, it got up to about 28. But what I want to do is go back in here and go back to P08 again, and I want to change the setting from 55 to 100. I got that set at 100 now, and check this out. "47 miles per hour. Now I imagine with my 200-pound butt it's not going to hit quite 47, but I'm going to get geared up and we're going to see how fast we can get this bike up to, because they only claim that it can do 28 miles per hour. So let me get geared up and we're going to find out. Alright, let's see what the Amyet e-bike can do. Like I said, I've got this thing unlocked to its top potential right now, and it's got some kick to it for sure. This thing takes off very strong, and the brakes are not very good. Not for a bike this heavy that can go this fast. But anyway, let's see what kind of top speed we can get up to here. We're in pedal assist level 5, and I'm just going to try to max it out. Alright, we got to about 29 there, and that's where it's capped out, so and I'm pedaling now, but the front gear is so small that it's just basically ghost pedaling. It's really strange with me on it. Yeah, we hit 46 on the speedometer. But with me on it, it gets up to about 28. And it takes off with plenty of power. I want to try something here. I'm going to try not pedaling. Here we go. I'm going to just not pedal and see if the throttle will take us up there any quicker. I'm in the habit of pedaling. Yeah, about 27, 28 is about all I am able to get up to, and that's according to GPS. So far, the speedometer does appear to be accurate, but the so-called speed unlock that I found didn't really do much of anything. I mean, it takes it up there without any weight on the back wheel, but once you put some weight on there, especially as much as I weigh, it really doesn't want to go up to that claimed 47. Oh well, it was worth a try. Alright, now I got it set back to its stock settings, and we're just going to see how it does going down the road in the stock settings. I'm in pedal assist level 4 right now, but once I stop, I'm going to go through the different pedal assist levels one at a time. And the speedometer does appear to be accurate. It does match GPS pretty closely, but we're up to 11 in pedal assist level 1. Level 2, about 16 miles per hour. Level 3, looks like about 22 miles per hour. Level 4, $25, and level 5. Once you get past like 24, it really just kind of creeps up and doesn't have a whole lot of takeoff. I think it did do a little bit better on acceleration when I had the P08 unlocked to 100, even though it didn't hit that 47 miles per hour with no weight on it. It did get up to the top speed considerably faster, and that top speed would be around 28 if you really have a long straightaway. I can see the benefit of setting P08 up to 100 for the benefit of hill climbing, and we're going to do some hill climbing later on in this video and see how she does. And we'll test it in both modes, both factory and with the P08 maxed out. Overall, the bike rides pretty nice. It's a 26-inch fat tire bike. It's got some front suspension but no rear suspension, and rides pretty good. The tires make for a really comfortable ride. And it rides nice. I really like how it rides. I could go for some little bit wider handlebars if I had my choice, but these are not bad. I also got the option where you can tilt the handlebars up for some rise or tilt them back for some pullback. It's got a pretty decent riser height here, so I tilted the handlebars back and down for some pullback. That's what I opted for, but you do have that choice. Alright, with our top speed and speedometer tests out of the way, we're just going to do a little casual riding now as I head over to Monster Hill. It's a hell of a steep hill that kills a lot of e-bikes. I'm going to see if this one has any trouble climbing that hill though. The bike ride's nice. I'm really digging it. The only way you'd get a more comfortable ride is with a bigger seat and of course with a rear suspension, but for a bike without any rear suspension, this ride's really nice, and I think for the price, for everything that you get out of this bike, it's a pretty good deal. I will say it's a big bike, so if you're on the shorter side, it's not going to suit you. I'm 5'10", and it does feel like I'm sitting pretty high in the saddle on this thing. All right, here we go up this hill, throttle only, pedal assist level 5. Not a lot of torque. Okay, now I see the benefit of unlocking that P setting to 100 in P08. We're going to do that and try climbing this hill again. All right, here we go. Pedal assist level 5, throttle only up this hill. Me not pedaling. Yeah, that's better. It's got some big wheels, so once it's got some big wheels, so it really doesn't want to get moving right away, but once they're rolling, it does a lot better. But I can tell you right now, this thing's not going to make it up Monster Hill. That one's going to kill this bike. Not a lot of low-end torque from this bike, not a whole lot of power, which is odd because the motor is stamped 1,000 watts. And on flat ground, it takes off really strong. I don't know why it struggles so much with such a weak little hill. I'm going to go down to the bottom of this one and turn around and put it in a lower gear and pedal it and see if, I mean, I know that's definitely going to help, but how much is it going to help? We're going to find out. So here we go. All right, going down into third gear. It takes about 2 pedal strokes for the motor to kick in, but with me pedaling up the hill, it's definitely going up a lot easier. I guess the torque is where the sacrifices had to be made for keeping this bike at a low cost. Bummer, because besides that, it's a pretty good bike. All right, we're going to go off into the gravel now, and it's been raining for the past few days, so I don't think I need this up in pedal assist level 5 for this. We're going to go down to 2. Otherwise, I'd literally be cruising for a bruising. Oh yeah, it's eating this gravel right up. It's doing great. Matter of fact, level 2 is probably a little bit too much for this. We'll go down to 1. It's pretty muddy out here today. Here's a good chance to do here's a good place to do a brake test. Here we go. Gonna lock them up right now. Not great. They're adequate for casual trail riding, but I wouldn't trust them for any kind of like really fierce stop and go city riding. All right, I'm a little ashamed that I didn't notice this sooner, but now with the bike up with its P08 setting up at 100, the pedal assist levels are all a lot stronger. I was thinking I was in like pedal assist level 3, and I just looked down and I realized I'm in pedal assist level 1. So what that's going to do is burn through our battery a lot faster. So I'm going to stop up here and set it back to 55 again. But if you want that really hard acceleration and higher pedal assist levels, keep it at 100. So I'm going to set it back to 55 because now we're going at almost twice as fast on pedal assist level 1 as it does with it set at 55. All right, there we go. Now I got it set back to 55 in the P08 setting, and pedal assist level 2 is taking me up to about 16 miles per hour, and that's where I like to ride for these casual trails. So as I mentioned before a few times, this is a big bike. It's a heavy bike too. I've got the seat set fairly low. I'm 5'10" and I'm getting a really good pedal stroke on it right now. If you're a shorter rider, this is probably not the bike for you. If you're a taller rider, this might be perfect for you. And the bike weighs in at just under 80 pounds, so it is not lightweight, but it makes for a really stable, comfortable ride. All right, on our way to Monster Hill, we got a somewhat of a steep climb, and I'm gonna help it pedal. I'm in pedal assist level 2, and it is just ripping right up this hill here now without any problems. It's so weird. Sometimes it's got torque and other times it doesn't. All right, we've made it here to Monster Hill, and I can tell you right now, I really don't think this bike is going to be able to make it up this hill. I'm in pedal assist level 5, throttle only. Here we go. Yeah, no, once we had any grade whatsoever, it failed, and failed hard. I'm going to try something though, and I do have to get a little bit of a roll off for this. I am in first gear here, and I'm just going to pedal like bare minimum and see if it goes up this hill. Oh, I had a theory. My theory was wrong. This thing just does not have any kind of hill climbing torque whatsoever. So if you're looking for something to be a fierce hill climber, this bike is not it. Other than that, pretty good bike, especially for the price point. All right, I'm doing my first battery check in here. I'm a little past halfway through the ride, and I've come 9 miles. I've ridden it kind of a mix of hard and easy, and we're down 1 bar on the battery meter, and that kind of checks out. This is a 15 amp hour battery, so if I would have taken it easier, we'd probably still be at a full charge, at least reading full charge. It'd probably be at like 90-80%, something like that. But with as hard as I've been riding it, it kind of checks out that it's dropped to 4 bars out of 5. I'd say by the time we get back, it's going to be at probably 2 or 3. All right, final range check in. We did 14 miles today, and that took us 2 bars to do it, 2 out of 5. So if I would have ridden this thing considerably easier, which I did ride pretty hard today. Most of the time I rode in pedal assist level 2, which was around 16 miles per hour, but I did quite a bit of hard testing where I was running in the higher power mode, and I was running doing speed tests and hill climbs and things like that, and I could definitely say that if I rode it in the lower power setting at pedal assist 2 the entire time, there would be considerably more battery life left. With all of this being said, even though motor-wise it is not a strong hill climber, gearing-wise it actually is. So if you're okay with doing a little bit of pedaling when you do hit your hills, this is going to be a great bike. Other than that, it's a good all-rounder. It's got a lot that it offers, especially at the price point. But if you want a strong hill climber that is going to do all of the hill climbing for you on its own, definitely aim for something else. Other than that, pretty good bike. I would say that if you're going to do any really long-term riding, like 20 miles or more, get a more comfortable seat. But for what I did today on the 14 miles that I rode it, this one was just fine. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.